Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
You know we love to dig into the source material.
Absolutely.
And today,
Yeah.
we are cracking open a vault
Oh.
of declassified FBI documents from the 1950s
Okay.
about UFOs.
All right.
So we're talking glowing objects,
Wow.
car engines mysteriously dying, radar operators seeing things they just can't explain.
So, setting the stage, Cold War tensions.
Yeah.
Public is fascinated with UFOs.
They are.
And the government's trying to figure out what in the world is happening.
Where do we even begin?
Well, one case that really jumps out at me is the story of Donald Stewart.
Okay.
This was March of 1952.
Okay.
Maryland.
Okay.
He claims he had an encounter with a UFO.
This is the one where the car engine stalls and the paint cracks.
Exactly.
It sounds like a movie.
It does, right.
Yeah.
He was driving along,
Wow.
and this disc-shaped object just hovers over his car.
Wow.
Engine dies, paint cracks.
Oh, man.
His friend, George Tyler III, was supposedly there.
Oh, right.
Witnessed the whole thing.
But wasn't there something a little off about the friend's account?
Well, that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
The FBI interviewed Stewart and Tyler separately. And Stewart stuck to his story.
Yeah.
But Tyler admitted he actually wasn't even there.
Wow.
Said Stewart asked him to back him up.
Oh, so maybe embellishing the truth a little bit.
Just a little.
But you said the FBI took this seriously.
I did.
So what did they do?
Well, they interviewed witnesses, checked his car for radiation, checked police reports to see if there was anything unusual going on that night.
It's kind of amazing how seriously they took these reports, right?
It is, yeah.
Even the ones that maybe seemed a little out there.
A little out there, yeah.
Did they ever find anything?
No. Investigation was inconclusive.
Okay.
Never really able to prove or disprove his story.
So classic UFO mystery then. Yeah, pretty much. You got a witness, you got a story, but there's really no evidence to back it up.
Right.
I got to think that, with all the Cold War anxiety, right? That had to play a role.
I think so, yeah.
It's like they're looking for threats everywhere.
Sure.
I mean, this wasn't just in Maryland, was it?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
We got reports all over the country.
Oh, wow.
Oyster-shaped objects in South Carolina.
Okay.
A bright light seen by a pilot in Nebraska.
It's amazing how these reports were coming in from all over.
It is.
Coast to coast.
Yeah.
Captures that feeling of the time.
Absolutely.
That mystery, that uncertainty. And it wasn't just everyday citizens, right? You had the military getting involved, too.
Yes.
Especially with all the strange radar anomalies they were getting.
At Fort Monmouth.
Right.
In New Jersey.
Back in September of '51.
That's right.
And these weren't your average, blips on the radar, right?
No. The operators were baffled.
Really?
High speeds, changing altitude rapidly.
Wow.
Things that just didn't line up with any known aircraft.
So what do they think it was? Enemy aircraft or something even weirder?
Well, they were concerned.
Yeah.
They knew their equipment.
Yeah?
And they knew what conventional aircraft should look like on the radar. This was something else.
Wow.
They had trouble even tracking these things.
Right.
They were moving so fast.
So if their equipment couldn't keep up, how'd they even know what they were seeing?
Well, it's their trainer, right? They could recognize aircraft from their radar signatures.
Yeah.
But these signatures, they were unlike anything they'd ever seen before.
Wow.
The speeds and altitudes were just too much.
Can you imagine, being in that situation?
I can't, no.
Middle of the Cold War.
Yeah.
And you're facing, a potential threat that you just can't even identify.
Right. And they're tasked with protecting the country.
Yeah.
But they're up against something that's totally outside their frame of reference.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so they had to report this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Up the chain of command.
The documents show that these reports were investigated.
Okay.
And it makes sense. Cold War paranoia. Any potential threat to national security.
Right.
They had to take it seriously.
Okay, so we've got everyday citizens seeing weird stuff.
Yeah.
Radar anomalies, stumping the experts. And this backdrop of Cold War tension.
Absolutely.
So what do we make of this?
Well, these sightings, they weren't happening in a vacuum. They were part of a larger cultural conversation.
Okay.
Fueled by things like science fiction, technological advancements, a growing awareness of the vastness of the universe.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Looking up at the sky and wondering, are we really alone out there?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
But it wasn't just the military and the scientists paying attention, right?
Oh.
You had everyday citizens writing to the FBI.
They were
with their own theories about UFOs.
Yeah.
And their concerns, I imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's one letter that's really something.
Yeah.
This person urges the FBI to fully investigate the possibility of extraterrestrial contact.
Wow.
Even go so far as to suggest that UFOs might be powered by harnessing the sun's energy.
Wow, so this wasn't just a casual letter.
No, no, no.
This person's really thinking about big questions. But did they explain how these UFOs might be working?
They did.
Really?
They speculated about advanced alien propulsion systems.
Wow.
They even talked about the dangers of this technology.
What kind of dangers?
Potentially destructive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing how these reports,
It is, yeah.
They sparked such profound thoughts, these theories.
Yeah.
It's like trying to bridge the gap between what we know and what we don't know.
Yeah, right. And filling in the blanks with the imagination.
So how did J. Edgar Hoover respond to all of this?
Well, Hoover, known for his skepticism, right? His focus on evidence.
Yeah.
But his response was measured.
Okay.
He acknowledges the public's concern, but emphasizes the FBI's limited role in investigating these matters.
So walking a fine line there, huh?
He was between acknowledging the concerns and not wanting to spark any panic.
Right.
Or wild speculation.
Which, knowing Hoover, is probably as close as he got to saying, like, move along, folks.
Pretty much.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
But even with that,
yeah,
you can tell that these UFO sightings had a huge impact on everyone, really tapping into this sense of wonder, anxiety, fascination with the unknown.
And that continues even today.
It does.
Yeah,
so what does it all mean?
And that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, are these extraterrestrial visitors?
Right.
Are these misidentified aircraft or something else entirely?
Well, those documents give us a glimpse into a time when our understanding of the world was really being tested.
That's absolutely.
And the line between science fiction and reality was incredibly blurred.
It was.
We have these clues, but no real answers.
Not yet.
So we got to take a closer look at the evidence.
We do.
Right. We got to look at the context, all the different explanations that are out there before we jump to any conclusions.
Absolutely.
We'll do just that when we come back.
Sounds good. We got to remember, right?
Yeah.
The 1950s, that was a time of incredible technological advancements.
That's true.
Especially in aviation.
Right. So some of these sightings could have been like experimental aircraft, maybe secret military projects.
Absolutely.
Stuff the public just didn't know about.
Yeah. I mean, the U-2 spy plane, that didn't become operational until the mid-50s.
Yeah.
But it's possible that prototypes or other experimental aircraft, they were already up there.
Right.
And people wouldn't know what they were looking at.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right.
And especially with all the Cold War stuff going on.
Exactly.
It's like seeing a U-2, thinking it's something truly out of this world.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you got weather phenomena too, right?
Right,
I mean, back then, you couldn't just Google it.
No.
Right. What that strange cloud formation was.
Right. So
it's like those reports from South Carolina.
Yeah.
About the oyster-shaped objects flying low, then disappearing. Maybe that was just an oddly shaped cloud.
Could be.
Catching the light just right.
Yeah.
Right.
And without the tools we have today to study the weather, people were relying on their own observations and their interpretations.
Yeah, and that's going to be colored by, their own perceptions, the context of the Cold War.
Absolutely.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we also got to consider... hoaxes, misinterpretations. I mean, not every unexplained sighting is going to be some secret aircraft or weird weather, right?
No, not at all.
Some people are just trying to stir up trouble.
Right, yeah.
Or get attention.
Like Donald Stewart.
Right.
His friend said he wasn't even there.
Exactly. And even when people genuinely believe they saw something it doesn't mean they're right.
Well, it could be their perceptions are colored by things.
Okay.
Psychological factors, right?
Okay.
Like the power of suggestion.
Yeah.
Or maybe a desire to see something sensational.
It's like that game of telephone we used to play as kids. the story changes.
It does.
Every time it's passed on.
Yeah.
Throw in some Cold War anxiety, fascination with UFOs.
Absolutely.
Suddenly a simple misidentification becomes like a full-blown alien encounter.
Exactly. Yeah.
The human mind is good at, you know.
It's good at
filling in the blank.
Filling in the blanks, yeah.
Especially when we're faced with something we don't understand.
Right, something unfamiliar.
Right, something scary.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got secret aircraft, weird weather, hoaxes, exaggerations.
That's right.
Multiple explanations for these sightings.
Right, that's the challenge.
It's a puzzle.
It is.
But we don't have all the pieces.
We don't, no.
So how do we approach this?
Cautiously.
Okay.
With a healthy dose of skepticism.
Right.
Keep an open mind.
Okay, so not jumping to conclusions, but keeping an open mind.
That's right.
But let's be honest.
Yeah.
Part of the fun of these reports is the possibility of aliens, right?
Of course.
I mean, are there any cases in these files that might support that?
Well, as we've said, most sightings, they can be explained conventionally.
Right.
But there are a few that stand out, even after considering things like experimental aircraft, weather phenomena.
Okay.
Like those radar anomalies at Fort Monmouth.
Right, right.
Those targets.
Yeah.
They were moving in ways that just didn't make sense.
They really were.
With the technology at the time.
And you had multiple radar sets picking them up?
Yes. Multiple experienced operators.
Yeah.
Speeds and maneuvers beyond anything they'd ever seen.
And then there's that pilot's report from Nebraska.
Oh, yeah, that one.
That bright light moving erratically, even seeming to change direction instantly.
Yeah.
It's like he was trained to know what he was looking at.
Right, an experienced pilot, but he couldn't explain it.
So, I mean, we can't say for sure it's aliens.
No.
But it's tempting to think.
It is.
That maybe there's something more to these stories. It's like a window into the unknown.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
A reminder that there might be things out there that we don't even understand yet.
Absolutely.
But we can't just say, well, we don't know what it is, so it must be aliens.
No, no, no.
We need evidence.
We do.
Right.
Right.
We need proof.
The absence of an explanation doesn't automatically mean aliens.
Right.
It just means we need to keep investigating.
Okay.
Keep asking questions.
Even open mind.
Keep an open mind, exactly.
It's easy to get caught up in the data, the reports, but we got to remember, there were real people behind all of this.
Oops.
Imagine you're a radar operator at Fort Monmouth.
Okay.
You're trained to identify any aircraft.
That's right.
But suddenly you're seeing these blips, even at impossible speeds, making these crazy turns.
It'd be unsettling.
It would be.
Especially during the Cold War.
Oh, absolutely.
Every unidentified blip could be a Soviet bomber.
Yeah, or
some new weapon.
Something we don't even know about.
Right.
But at the same time, they're seeing things that don't match any known technology.
It's a tough situation.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do?
Right.
Do you report it?
Yeah.
Risk looking foolish?
Right.
Or do you keep quiet?
Hope it goes away.
Yeah, hope it's nothing.
It just goes to show that even with something like radar, human perception, interpretation, it always plays a role.
It does, yeah.
Our understanding of the world is shaped by so many things.
It is, yeah.
Our experiences.
Our beliefs.
Our biases.
The time we live in.
Absolutely.
And in the 1950s, that meant Cold War anxiety.
Yeah.
Seeing threats everywhere.
And we see that same anxiety in that letter from the concerned citizen.
But one to J. Edgar Hoover.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Not just reporting the sighting, but trying to understand it.
Trying to figure it out.
Speculating about alien propulsion.
Right.
The dangers of this unknown technology.
It's amazing how those ideas, you know,
it is.
They still resonate today.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still asking those same questions about the nature of reality.
Yeah.
The possibility of aliens.
Right.
What it all means for us.
So what are the big takeaways from all of this?
Yeah, for those just learning about these files.
Well, first, the historical context is so important.
Yeah.
We can't just look at this stuff through a modern lens.
Right.
Cold War anxieties, the technology, the cultural fascination with UFOs. It's like reading a historical novel, but not knowing anything about the time period.
You'd miss so much.
Yeah, exactly.
And second, while a lot of these sightings have explanations, some are genuine mysteries.
Just because we can't explain it doesn't mean it's aliens.
Doesn't mean it's aliens.
But it does show us
that
we don't know everything.
I don't.
And that's constantly changing, right?
It is.
As we explore more, make new discoveries.
Absolutely.
That's what makes all of this so fascinating.
It is.
It's like a detective story that's still being written.
That's a good way to put it.
We have the evidence, but the truth might still be out there.
It might.
So for everyone listening, stay curious.
Keep looking up.
Keep looking up at the sky.
Who knows what you might see?
You never know what you might discover.
That's right.
That's it for our deep dive into the FBI's UFO files.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We'll see you next time.
Until then, stay curious. Say that.